Welcome back to The Daily Edge, where we ask entrepreneurs, executives, and athletes, and high performers how they find their edge. Today's guest is Jeff Velez. We discuss how sales has or hasn't changed over the last 40 years and how hard it is to take control of your own destiny. As always, I'm your host, Marc Nudelberg.
Let's find our edge.
Jeff Velez, welcome to The Daily Edge.
Thank you. This is super exciting to be here.
Have you ever been on a podcast before?
I have.
Okay.
Nothing this cool, though.
I appreciate that. We immediately...
No brick wall, no nothing.
I love that. We immediately take the cool factor. Introduce yourself to the audience. Give us the ChatGPT version of where you started and how you got to where you are now.
That's hard for me to condense that. But
Yeah.
Jeff Velez, I'm a national VP of sales for Home Warranty of America in the real estate vertical. But I started at 19 years old selling office equipment. I dropped out of college, moved to Tampa, Florida, and decided I was going to sell copiers and fax machines. And I kind of parlayed that because I was a delivery guy for a small dealership in Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy said, "You got no deliveries. Call these people out of this index card box." And
The old Rolodex.
he says, "Get them to order supplies, and anything they do, I'll pay you 10%. So I'd be like, he was a young guy, like in his early 30s. I'd be like, "Hey, somebody just ordered a $900 case of toner." He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I did that. He says, "You have a suit at home?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Wear a suit tomorrow." And took me cold calling in Manhattan.
Wow.
And he says, "Do this for the rest of the summer. Get a buddy to take your delivery job." And at the end of the summer, I flew down to visit friends in Tampa and just interviewed, got a couple job offers, and said, "I'm moving."
Wow.
Yeah.
Was there any history of sales prior to you getting into office equipment and knocking on doors?
Selling raffle tickets at the bowling alley in my father's Friday night bowling league.
Okay.
No, honestly, I worked at Tom McCann.
Okay.
It was old. You're too
I don't
young.
even, yeah.
You're too young.
Yeah.
Your dad knows.
Yeah.
But it was my first kind of job, shoe store. Went from one location. First day I started on a Sunday, we got robbed.
Wow.
Literally, like,
Oh my
first day. I go and tell my parents, they're like, "You're not going back?" I'm like, "No, it's fine. It was okay." And then went to a larger store, and then I ended up at the store down by 30, like Macy's, to do the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Yeah.
And I always liked the fact that if I helped people and did a good job at it, I was making more money than my friends were, who were just getting, back then minimum wage was probably $3-4 an hour.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm making like more than that, plus, so that's how it kind of started. Yeah.
And then at 19, you got into sales. What happened then? Why did you decide to start your career then?
I was going to Pace University, and it just not a school guy, and I come from I just have one older...
Look, Gary Vee says all the time, "We're not a school guy." Nothing wrong with not being a school guy.
And it's hard because I come from a family. I have an older brother who, ironically enough, your dad knows, who lives down here. It's a small world, right? And he was an Ivy Leaguer, and I'm going, "Oh, good. Pace is a great school," but it just wasn't happening. I was like, "I'm taking the train every day. This is not me. I want to live in Florida." And just decided to give it a shot.
Was that hard for you, like telling your parents, talking to, like, what was that experience like, being like, "Hey, number one, school's not for me, I'm not going to do this anymore, and number two, I'm going to Florida"? Like,
not good. And we've been getting married to that.
Sure.
Whole
Wow.
right? Yeah. Hello, right? So
Your dad was like,
moved down. So moved down, and a good friend of mine, my brother's, said, "Hey, 3 things. Just ask yourself 3 things. You're going to do this, right?" He said, "Don't turn back." But he goes, "What's the best thing that could happen?
Mm-hmm.
What's the worst thing that could happen?
Mm-hmm.
And if the worst thing happens, can you live with it?"
Wow.
To this day, I still use
the greatest
that,
advice
right?
ever. Yeah.
I still use it today, like for anything.
Yep.
If I go eat at this restaurant, what's the best thing? I have a good deal. If it sucks, oh, whatever.
Amazing.
There was that, and just never looked back. And here I am. I was 1984.
Wow.
So it just evolved through that. So I went from this dealership that I worked for. I was.
But hold on, because there was something hard there that, like, so good, you got great advice, so you felt great about it, but how was it, like, really taking responsibility for yourself and being like, look, I don't care what you want me to do as my family, I don't care what you guys think is the right thing to do, I'm going to do this for myself. What was that like?
It was hard, but my parents knew that I was a hustler, right?
Yep.
I'm going to knock on, I grew up in a co-op in the Bronx on the 11th floor. It's snow in the parking lot. Cars are covered with snow. I'd knock on doors to the older ladies in the building. Want me to shovel your, do whatever. So I had the hustle, right?
Yep.
So they never doubted the work ethic part of that, but they always thought at some point you're going to get to a point in your career where not having a college degree is going to be a thing. So I did attend classes down here. I started doing that, and then eventually
it became not a thing.
It wasn't a thing.
It turned out it wasn't a thing for you.
And the dealership I worked at, the biggest blessing, I think, starting out in sales was my sales manager was a trainer for Xerox.
Okay.
Who was on the road and got tired of being on the road and took a job as a local sales manager at this dealership. So I learned from some incredible people. And our general sales manager, it was just the good sales culture. Like, I was broke. I'm driving back and forth from Tampa to Largo, back to my territory, back, no money for gas. And I remember telling my sales manager one time, hey, man, I can't. I don't even have money to pay my Tico bill. He's like, how much is it? I said, it's like $60. He goes in his pocket, gives me $60, said, go pay it and go sell something.
Yeah.
But it was just that it was a great...
He took care of you.
It was a great launching pad with a lot of incredible salespeople that I got to learn from. And then I kind of parlayed that into going to work for Pitney Bowes, which was a bigger, publicly traded company, and did that, moved up as a major accounts, was a sales manager, got to leadership, and kind of moved up that way. And then fast forward to being in that business into the 90s, and was kind of on autopilot, and my wife was in the mortgage business, and president of their company said, you're bilingual, man, you can sell, you should. I'm like, nah, I'm good. My wife said, you're miserable. Call them. Let's do this. So got in mortgage. I love the real estate industry. So that parlayed into warranty in 2016, and here we are.
Amazing.
No chat.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was perfect. That was perfect. So, like, it's not all the time that we get somebody in the studio that, like, has sales experience similar to my dad over many, many decades, right? And, like, you were very successful in the early part of your career with a tactic of knocking on doors. And we talked about this before. Like, it was like a transactional sale. Like, you could talk somebody into buying. And you were talking, just before the show, how different it is now. Can you help, like, talk about what you saw in the beginning of your career and what made you successful in sales then versus what the sales landscape looks like now and what you see people being successful, what you're doing being successful, or what people aren't doing?
I mean, what hasn't changed is, and my wife and I have this, you put yourself out there with people. No matter what, no matter where you are, whether it's at the bar, whether it's at the airport, on the airplane, not that it's all the time, but if you do that with people and you ask and you want to know about them, right?
Yep.
If you're genuine about it, and I don't know if that's something you can train. I mean, you just have to have that in you, right?
Yeah. But we think you can train it.
Yeah. but that's how it starts, right? You meet people and you become friends, right? And you're knocking on doors, and next thing you know, the guy's like, hey, meet me for happy hour. And it's so that part still exists today, but now people want to hide behind email, right? And now we have all this technology, but nothing erases the face to face.
So we agree with you 1,000%, right? And, like, we agree that the thing that makes people successful in business development or sales is the relationship, the ability to connect with somebody. I think in today's world, people prefer to connect digitally first. That's just become an accepted behavior. Like when people knock on my door, I'm like, the ball's on this guy to knock on my door, you know? Or like people cold call me, I'm like, why are you calling me? Like when you ask a room full of people who wants to be interacted with that way, nobody does. Nobody really wants that anymore. Sure, there's like the outliers of the old school people that are like, I still answer the phone every time somebody calls. So like you grew up in an industry where that was the means. That was the only means. That was the way that it had to happen. Have you seen it evolve a little bit from that time? Have you seen the change in behavior and the change of people and how that's happened?
What's great now is we have so much access to information.
Right.
So, hey, it's how your dad and I met.
Yep.
Right? I comment on a LinkedIn post for a guy that used to live down the street from me. He sends me a LinkedIn message. Next thing you know, 15-minute virtual coffee. Beautiful. Sounds easy.
Right.
And your dad and I are so intertwined with people. Every time we talk,
you find out there's somebody else.
You know that person for there, and it's because he's that way too, right?
Right.
Put himself out there. So you have to do the research, and it's there. The information is there. You go on LinkedIn, you go on Facebook. Hey, they like black labs. Okay, you know, like, or they're a dog person. Just find something. Their kid plays soccer, baseball, basketball. What?
Yep.
Just find a connection, but be genuine about it. But at the same time, it's launches the relationship. Like you become friends, right? Never met a stranger, man. And back then, when you're knocking on doors, cold calling down in Tampa, and you're just collecting business cards and you're writing down, still those people that became clients were friends.
Yeah.
Or became friends. So.
Do you struggle getting people to buy into that philosophy as a sales leader, as somebody who's responsible for helping people grow their business? Do you get people that struggle to believe that?
Absolutely. I mean, people still have a transactional state of mind. When in the business we're in, we talked about you have to be a hunter and a farmer at the same time, because it's not a one-time deal. It's you order once from me for your client, and the next transaction you order again, and I'm going to take great care of you. And when things go sideways, you're going to answer your phone and you're going to help me. But you still have to continue to find new people all the time, because attrition is real. One bad claim in my business and they want to use someone else, whether or not it's valid or legit or it happens. So you always have to be on the net new cycle, which is reaching out to people, calling, doing the research, targeting top producing teams. But, it's like you got to hit your singles, but you got to hit doubles, triples, and home runs too.
Sure.
And I feel like those people that are reluctant to go after the big fish, it's fear.
Sure.
Fear and call reluctance. And it's if you can somehow get good at that or get disciplined about it, every quarter, if you can add a few of those bigger teams while you're doing the other stuff, that's how you grow exponentially.
I love that you drew a difference between good and disciplined, because there are a lot of people who are not actually good at it, but are just so disciplined at doing it that they have success, because they're going to do it so consistently that it's impossible for them to fail. If you also got good and disciplined, right? Like you do more money and you have the greatest career in the world, which I think is where we try to focus with people, is like, look, even if you're not good at doing this, if you do this, you're going to be successful. If you then take the nuance of it, and then you then cultivate the skill sets of being curious, of being engaging, of caring, of being consistent, like you're going to knock the cover off the ball. But so the show, right, is called The Daily Edge. right? And so recently the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. They define, finding the edge as hunting for the small legal advantages that would help you win. You obviously had an edge because you went out on your own, because at 19 you started your own career, because you climbed the ranks of those organizations and moved into bigger organizations. Maybe you lost that edge when you were miserable and then found your edge again. What's been your edge that's continued to help you find success?
Is really, I think it's to genuinely want to help people.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to help your people, and I love to, any of my reps around the country, I mean, they have their managers that are on my team, but call me. You want to strategize, you want to talk shop, you want ideas. I always say, I'm the guy with the light bulb over his head.
Yeah.
I'll give you the ideas, but it's execution.
Yep.
It's discipline. I talk about a realtor that I've known for 20-some years. Not the flashiest guy ever,
Mm-hmm.
but you walk in the office and they had like a glass window, and he's got a do not disturb on his door.
Yeah.
He's got his headset on.
Yeah.
He's pacing around. He's making his calls.
Yeah.
And the guy no charisma, won't light up a room.
Right.
I won't say his name.
Right. He's not necessarily really good, but
I
he's
won't
so
say his name.
disciplined.
But consistently, this guy's doing he's
Yep.
in the 1%.
Yeah.
Or better than 1% in the industry, because he's just got that process.
Do you think that's a God-given, that curiosity that you have, that genuine care and want to help people, do you think that's a God-given trait, or do you think that was something that was conditioned inside of you?
I feel like I got that from my parents.
Okay. They put it in as an example. They showed you how to do that.
Yeah, my mom at going on 92 can in 10 minutes she'll have a person's whole history.
Wow.
So it's just that. But in a genuine sense, right?
Correct.
So yeah, it was.
So it was conditioned inside of you, and then you found the way to put that into your profession that has helped you be successful. Now you lead, and I always draw the difference between doing and leading, right? Like, there are lots of salespeople who get elevated to leadership positions that then do not have success. One thing that you said makes sense to me. You genuinely care about helping people. That automatically makes you a good leader. But then there are some other components that I think are important to being a good leader. What would you say those are? What makes you a good leader?
Continuing to do it, right? So
player coach.
I'm a fan of the 15-minute virtual coffee, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to roll that into my group as try this. Here's the process. Become friends, especially because it's more of a relationship business. It's not transactional. So I've started experimenting myself, and I sent a quick video, just from my phone, to an agent who spoke at an event a couple weeks ago. Top producing, big time leader, and said, "Hey, heard you killed it." And it's true, because my rep was in the front row. She goes, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
She was amazing. And sent her the video, said, "Love to reconnect, haven't talked to you in a while." She responded in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and felt so good about it, right?
And less than 5 minutes. I've done it. So every once in a while, I'll go into a rep's territory, and we have this data. And what I ask them to do about making certain types of calls, hey, agents that got new listings, there's a little script for that. Buyer side sold. The buyer's agent just sold the deal. Hey, did it have a warranty attached to it?
Yeah.
We have all the data.
Yep.
So I'll go in every once in a while and make those calls myself, like I'm the secret shopper. You know, what's that show with the boss?
Undercover Boss.
Undercover Boss.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And I remember doing it one day, and I'm going to make 20 calls. Call number 7, the lady goes, "Oh my God, I need to order a warranty." Yeah, I'll do it. And I'm like, I can't even take the order.
Right.
I'm like, I don't even know how to use the portal. I'm like, holy crap. So I said, you know what? I'm going to have her call you.
Yeah.
She's in the market, boots on the ground. I'll have her give you a buzz. And I call her and I said, you need to call this agent. She wants to order. How'd you get it? I said, because what I was asking you to do, I did.
I did.
Call number 7. Right. Call number 7.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
So it's funny. Right before this show, I was at Junior Achievement of South Florida. I emceed the stock market challenge, which is like a really cool event where they bring in teams from high schools and they give them a starting portfolio and a starting allotment of cash that then they have, based on information that they get throughout the hour, they have to make investment decisions. And it's then you give an award to the top 3 and the whole thing. And so I told them, I said, even if like investing isn't something that you're really interested in, or even if this is something that you really signed up to do, I said, you're going to learn 2 of the most important principles there are in life. Number 1, competition matters. And if you are willing to compete, you immediately elevate yourself above half of your other competition. And number 2, information is everything. And if you understand how to not only get information, but then comprehend that information and able to make decisions off of it, you will annihilate everybody else. And so it's awesome to hear like that you're that player coach and you're in there, but then you're leveraging information to help you get a new conversation or show up to somebody in a really relevant way and showing your team how to do that. That's awesome stuff.
I always feel like when I come up with a new presentation or something, I test it out. I always feel like, like the stand-up comics, they got a new routine. They go to small comedy clubs before they take it out on the road or do their like Netflix. I try and it doesn't always work, but you have to try.
Yeah.
And if for nothing else, try, adapt, change it, what landed, what didn't, and just keep trying to get better.
That growth, keep trying to get better. It's like there's no better way for us to go out. Jeff, thank you for joining the show.
I appreciate it. Thank you. This was fun.
If people want to get in contact with you because they enjoyed the conversation or maybe they know somebody for whatever reason, how do they get in touch with you?
LinkedIn.
Best place.
Best place, right? LinkedIn, Facebook, Jeff Velez. I'm Home Warranty of America. You can look me up. I'm pretty easy to find.
Awesome. Now look directly into that camera and say, let's find our edge.
Let's find our edge.
Let's go.